Welcome to PlayStation News, Rumours and Leaks. Let's take a look at what's been happening over the last few days in the world of gaming. Guys, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, strap yourselves in, and let's get cracking. The recent ransomware attack on Insomniac Games has revealed documents that hint the Sony-owned developer is working on a Spider-Verse game. While images of Marvel's Wolverine were leaked in the cyber attack, it's now emerged that the details about this leak and about Insomniac Games is focused on 3 as of yet unannounced projects. And these projects that were leaked include RCE, Marvel's Spider-Man 3 and Spider-Verse. The latter is speculated to be the multiplayer project that Insomniac Games has been working on for a number of years now, but nothing has really been confirmed about the Spider-Verse. The group that hacked Insomniac Games are known as Riceda and are threatening to publish the stolen data in a few days' time. Marvel's Wolverine hasn't been given a release date yet, although it has been rumoured that the game won't be released until after 2024. The listing of Marvel's Spider-Man 3 is probably not too surprising considering the phenomenal success of Spider-Man 2 and the previous titles, although even if it's in the works, it's way too early to expect anything on the game. Insane if this is true. I always expected a Spider-Man 3 in all honesty. Absolutely cannot wait for this one. But if you think about the timelines of things, Spider-Man 3 is probably going to be a 2026 release, maybe even 2027, with Wolverine coming out in 2025. And in 2024, we're probably going to get, I would like to see, I like to hope that there's going to be a Spider-Man 2 DLC, some kind of DLC. We know there's updates happening and I'll talk about that in a moment. So we are going to get information about more updates to Spider-Man in its current format, but I'd like to see a 2024 DLC for Spider-Man 2 followed by Wolverine in 2025, which means 2026, probably a bit early, but 2026 for a Spider-Man 3, maybe 2027 Spider-Man 3. That's what I'm thinking. But Insomniac Games absolutely knocking it out the park again. Dare I say, they are carrying the PlayStation Studios team right now for the PS5 generation. You decide and let me know in the comment section down below. Moving on, as I mentioned earlier about the Spider-Man 2 updates, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 arrived as a pretty complete package, but there are still a few features that fans know are coming and that Insomniac Games is still baking in the oven. 2 of those major features are the audio descriptions and a new Game Plus mode, but both of these, along with plenty of other features players have been asking for since the launch, now will not be arriving until early 2024. Insomniac Games announced the delay on studio's official Twitter account with a statement which also listed changes the team is working on, such as being able to change the day and night, which is fantastic, swapping the colours of the tendrils which spawn from the Venom suit, and being able to conveniently replay missions. All this will be available in 2024. The statement from Insomniac Games goes on to say, "Hey webheads, we have some news about the next game update for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. We know players have been eagerly awaiting features such as the new Game Plus and audio descriptions amongst many more. We've been working vigilantly on these features and require some more testing to ensure the quality is up to our standards. We're now targeting early 2024 for the next game update, and we'll have a feature complete list closer to its release. We've heard your feedback and we'll be adding some highly requested features, including the ability to change the time of day, swap tendril colors and replay missions, just to name a few. We can't wait to share more with you in the future. In the meantime, we appreciate your patience as our team works to finish our next update for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. This delay comes off the heels of reports about Insomniac being hacked, with personal employee information and information about its upcoming Marvel's Wolverine game and potentially other unannounced projects having been stolen. Sony is currently investigating the hack, and although Insomniac doesn't say it here, it wouldn't be surprising if we later learn that part of the delay was due to the hack. Whatever the case, hopefully we won't have to wait much longer for this upcoming update, and even less so to find out everything that'll be arriving in the update. As Insomniac says, we'll get more information about it closer to release. Guys, if you like the video so far or find the video interesting or informative, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. That really helps out the video a great deal. If you want to support me as a content creator, then consider becoming a channel member. I'll leave a link down below in the description on becoming a channel member. Be sure to check that out. Okay, moving on. For the last 15 years, when the time comes for tallying up which game has sold the most that year in the US, it's always been one of two options. Whatever the year is, it's always a Call of Duty game or something made by Rockstar, which could potentially be anything from GTA 4, GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 1 or Red Dead Redemption 2. Not an entirely varied list of games at the top of the heap, but for the first time in the last 15 years, a game not made by Activision or Rockstar could stand tall as the best-selling game in 2023 for the US. And that game is Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy remains at the top of the charts, although Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 has already jumped to second place for the best-selling game so far and still has time to catch up, so fingers crossed. Let's hope Hogwarts Legacy wins the acclaim for this year. It'll be nice to get a different player at the top of the charts. Whatever your thoughts are on the game, it's undeniable that it continues to sell each month and that it's been hugely successful for Avalanche Software. If Hogwarts Legacy is able to hold off, it breaks a long-running streak of the same games and the same studios being nominated for best-selling game or studio in the US, no matter what else comes out. So moving on to our final piece then, Naughty Dog has announced that it's made the decision to stop developing its online The Last of Us project, which officially was known as The Last of Us Online, and unofficially for fans it was the current gen update for factions. In a blog post, Naughty Dog go on to say, "We know this news will be tough for many, especially our dedicated The Last of Us factions community who have been following our multiplayer ambitions ardently. We're equally crushed at the studio as we're looking forward to putting it in your hands. We wanted to share with you some background of how we came to this decision. This definitely isn't what fans were expecting to hear from Naughty Dog, especially since Jim Ryan had seemingly kicked off this coming era of live service titles from the PlayStation studios. However, the writing was almost on the wall with reports of Naughty Dog scaling down the team working on this multiplayer game and then delaying it indefinitely, with the studio saying it needed even more time, while distracting us with the fact that a new single player game is coming. There's also a number of rumours that the game was already cancelled back in October, though in November at least it was still being worked on according to the game's director. Considering that Naughty Dog's reasoning behind the choice will likely not be too surprising for the studio's fans, and ultimately it's a choice that stays true to how Naughty Dog has historically operated. It saw its vision for The Last of Us Online as too ambitious, and understand that if we were to do this properly, it would need to choose between being a studio that makes a single player game or a studio that updates one massive live service game for years. So that was a choice. Either we make multiple single player games like we have done in the past, or we focus on one game and we focus on that one game for many years. And they go on to say, in ramping up to full production, the massive scope of our ambition became clear. To release and support The Last of Us Online, we'd have to put all of our studio resources behind supporting post-launch content for years to come, severely impacting game development on future single-player games. So, we had two paths in front of us: become a solely live service game studio, or continue to focus on single-player narrative games that have defined Naughty Dog's heritage. Considering the studio that Naughty Dog has been since its birth, it's easy to see why they made this choice. Even if it's ultimately an upsetting way to close the chapter entirely on factions and The Last of Us having a multiplayer component again, a minor consolation prize for Naughty Dog fans goes out to the tease at the end of the blog post, which reminds us that the studio has more than one ambitious brand new single player game that we're working on. So we do have that on the horizon to look forward to. Hopefully we actually get to see something new from Naughty Dog very soon. Until then, it's at least we've got the roguelike no return mode to look forward to as something sort of new for The Last of Us Part 2 remastered at least. It's a massive blow that we will not be getting the live service online mode for The Last of Us, but in a way I'm kind of glad the studio is focusing on single player games. It's something that I do love. I'm not a fan of live service or multiplayer games to that part really, so for me it's quite an okay decision. The only thing I'm disappointed with is that there's multiple years worth of development time has gone into developing something that we're not going to see, so that is disappointing, but I'm quite happy that the path that Naughty Dog have gone down. Part of me is curious as to what this multiplayer online game would have looked like, so it would have been nice to see that. Will they reuse aspects of the online game? Will they use elements of this online game that it's never going to see the light of day? Will they use elements of that in the next Last of Us game? Will their new single player game support an online mode? I'd like to think their next game will support some kind of online mode, maybe factions, right? A smaller version of factions, and that they'll be able to reuse some of those elements of what they've already done. So all that development time, some of it will be able to be saved. That'd be nice to know if that's the case, but I suppose we'll find out in the future once Naughty Dog reveal what their roadmap is going forward. Anyway, that's going to do it for the video, guys. Thank you for watching. If you could do me a favour whilst you're here, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next PlayStation news, rumours and leaks video.